You think you're calm because you don't explode. You think you're strong because you swallow things and keep moving. But you're not quiet. You're not strong. You're trained to absorb disrespect, and trained to be predictable, and trained to keep your mouth shut when your mind is screaming. At work, someone interrupts you in a meeting, talks over your point, and then repeats your idea like it was theirs. Everyone nods at them. You feel that spike of heat in your chest, but you laugh it off. You go quiet. You tell yourself, it's not worth making a scene. They walk out with more credit, and you walk out with more resentment. In your relationships, they say, I'm sorry, something came up. Can we reschedule? For the third time. You rearranged your day. You rushed things. You waited. They pulled out at the last minute again. You text back, no worries, it's okay, totally understand. But it's not okay. What you're really telling them is, my time is cheap, my presence is flexible. You can move me whenever you want. With friends and family, they dump their problems on you, call you when they're bored, ask for favors, want you to listen for hours, and when you finally need something back, they're busy. Still, you keep saying yes, because saying no feels rude. Because you don't want to look selfish. Because you were trained to believe that your value is in your usefulness, not your strength. You weren't raised to be powerful. You were raised to be useful. School trained you to wait for permission. Parents may have trained you to avoid conflict. Culture trained you to be nice. Always smile. Always forgive. Always be understanding. And every time you do that on autopilot, someone else learns they can bend your emotions like a lever. 500 years ago, Machiavelli watched men like you, men who thought being good was enough. Men who didn't understand how power really works. He wrote about rulers and strategy, but his real subject was human nature. He showed that people are moved by fear, desire, and self-interest far more than by fairness or kindness. Today, the same rules apply to your office, group chats, relationships, and social media. The game didn't change. Only the setting did. You want to be unshakable. You want to be calm and sharp at the same time. You want to walk into a room and feel like nothing can push you off center. That will not come from being nicer, more patient, or more forgiving. It comes from understanding power, as Machiavelli did, and using it not to control others, but to control yourself first. In this video, you're going to see 6 Machiavellian truths that make you unbreakably calm and razor sharp when you actually apply them. These truths will change how you react to disrespect, how you speak when you're under pressure, and how you decide when someone is pulling you into their drama. They will shift you from prey to strategist. People will feel the difference, even if they can't explain it. Some will respect it. Some will fear it. All will notice it. But understand something. Most people will never live like this. Many people clicked this video out of curiosity, but they'll leave as soon as they feel called out. They'll hear a line that stings, and they'll run back to their old patterns. If you keep watching, you're not here for entertainment. You're here to change how you play the game. So do something simple right now. Put your phone face down for a moment and just listen. Not as a fan, not as a passive viewer. Listen as someone studying a manual for power. If this hit you, write, "I am the strategist" once in the comments, just to mark the day your mindset changed. Now let's break down the truths you were never taught. First, you need to understand that calm is not a personality trait. Calm is a weapon. You've been told that being calm just means not getting angry, so you think bottling things up counts. It doesn't. Absolute calm is not numbness, it's control. You can feel the hit, the insult, the pressure, but you don't move until you decide it's worth moving. Think about when someone raises their voice at you. Maybe a manager, perhaps a partner, possibly someone online. They send you a long, angry paragraph, or they snap in front of others. Your automatic reaction is to defend, explain, and justify. Your heart rate jumps, your breathing changes, and your fingers start typing back without thinking. That's not composure. That's basic conditioning. They push, you jump. Machiavelli understood that panic spreads faster than reason. In his world, a leader who panicked in a crisis lost everything because people don't follow unstable minds. He wrote that a ruler should appear steady and unshaken, even when things are chaotic, because perception of stability creates absolute stability. In your life, it's the same. The first person to lose their calm loses the frame. When someone attacks your ego and you react instantly, you give them the steering wheel of your mind. You're no longer choosing your response. You're just discharging emotion. That's when you say things you regret, overshare, or agree to something just to end the discomfort. Manipulators love this. They don't need you to explode. They just need you to become unbalanced. The power move is to delay. Not forever, just enough to shift from emotional reaction to deliberate choice. When someone sends you a trigger text, don't reply in that state. Lock your phone, breathe, and let your body calm down. When someone raises their voice, keep your own voice low, steady, and slow. Say little. Let their emotion echo in the air while you stay grounded. Next time someone tries to pull you into a fast emotional reaction, use a simple line. I heard what you said. I'll think about it. Then go silent. You're telling them, you don't control my tempo. That silence is where your sharpness grows. That pause is where you become dangerous in the right way. Second, you must become unreadable. Right now, most people can read you in seconds. They know when you're nervous, when you're excited, when you're jealous. You show it in your face, your texts, your social media. You react to every notification. You double text when someone doesn't answer. You post songs and quotes that reveal precisely how you feel. You think you're expressing yourself, but what you're really doing is giving away your map. Machiavelli said that a ruler must learn to conceal his intentions, because people will always judge by appearances. If your inner world is open on display, then anyone with basic manipulation skills can press the right emotional buttons. They know what compliments to use, what threats to make, what promises to dangle. They don't have to guess. You showed them everything. You may think, but I don't want to be fake. I want to be honest. Understand this: honesty and transparency are not the same thing. You can be honest without broadcasting your emotions, your plans, your wounds. When you tell everyone your fears, your insecurities, your desires, you're not being real. You're being vulnerable in a world where not everyone has your best interest at heart. The unreadable man still feels deeply, but he shows selectively. His face doesn't twist with every emotion. He doesn't rush to fill every silence. He listens more than he speaks. He chooses who gets to hear his whole story, and those people are few. To most others, he stays polite, clear, and calm, but not open like a diary. Practically, start reducing how much you explain yourself. When someone asks, "Are you mad?" you don't need to give a complete emotional breakdown. You can say, I'm thinking. When someone tries to drag out your opinions, you don't have to give them everything. You can say, I'm still deciding what I think about that. When you feel the urge to post something just to hint at your mood, don't. Let the world feel your presence, not your emotional weather forecast. The next truth is about your time and availability. You think being always available makes you loyal, committed, and caring. In reality, it often makes you cheap. You answer texts in seconds. You drop what you're doing to help. You fit into other people's schedules as if you had nothing else going on. They learn that if they want you, they can get you, anytime, with minimal effort. That doesn't build respect. That builds attachment to your obedience. Machiavelli wrote that those who want favor must make themselves useful, but not too familiar. If a prince is too easy to access, people start to disrespect him. Scarcity increases value, even in politics. The same principle applies to you. If your time has no boundaries, people feel entitled to it. You stop being a person and become a resource. Notice how the people you respect the most rarely feel too available. They have their own schedule. They respond when they can, not when you demand. They don't panic if they miss a call. They know their time is limited, and they move like it. That doesn't make them rude. It makes them real. Your inner calm is impossible if your time is constantly hijacked. You can't think deeply when you're always reacting to someone else's needs. An unbreakable mind needs protected time. Time to think, to build, to rest, to train. When you give that away freely, you're handing people the keys to your mental state. Next time someone calls and you're in the middle of work, you don't have to pick up. Call back later. If someone asks for a favor that pulls you away from something important, you can say, I can't do that today. No long story, no guilt. If someone keeps canceling on you, stop rearranging your life for them. Keep your plans. Let them feel the absence, not your endless flexibility. Another truth. Emotional distance is not coldness, it's clarity. You get pulled into other people's storms because you tie your worth to their behavior. If they're warm, you feel valuable. If they're distant, you feel anxious. If they're angry, you feel guilty. You let their mood define who you are, so your nervous system is constantly on the defensive. Machiavelli warned against building your power solely on the goodwill of others. People are changeable. Their emotions, their promises, their loyalties shift with time and opportunity. If your inner peace depends on their current mood, you're volunteering to be unstable. You become easy to move by anyone who can pull affection away from you. Emotional distance doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop collapsing. When someone changes tone with you, you don't immediately rewrite your identity. You don't think, they're cold, so I must have done something wrong, and start begging for warmth. Instead, you observe. You feel your own feelings, but you don't chase. You measure actions over time, not just in a single moment. Practically, start watching your own emotional waves instead of drowning in them. When you feel that panic of, why didn't they answer? Notice it. Name it. This is anxiety, not reality. Instead of sending another text, another call, sit with the discomfort. Let it burn through you without acting. That's how you build emotional muscle. If someone starts playing hot and cold, don't respond by becoming even more sizzling. That only rewards their behavior. You can reduce your energy instead. Take longer to respond. Be polite, but shift your focus back to your own life, work, training, and interests. you'll notice something. When you stop dancing to their rhythm, either they adjust or they leave. Either way, you win clarity. The fifth truth is brutal for people who were trained to be nice. You must learn to say no without explaining yourself. Right now, when you want to refuse something, you prepare a whole speech. You list reasons. You apologize 10 times. You hope that if you explain enough, they won't be upset with you. But people who want to use you don't listen to your reasons. They just look for gaps to push through. Machiavelli understood that a ruler cannot please everyone and stay strong. Sometimes you must disappoint. Sometimes you must deny what others want. If you always bend to avoid upsetting people, you end up with no spine and no respect. The fear of being seen as selfish becomes the chain on your neck. Every time you over-explain your no, you invite negotiation. You say, "I can't, I have a lot going on this week." And they respond, "What about next week then?" You say, "I'm tired." And they say, "It won't take long." They're not evil. They're just following your frame. You presented your opinion like a weak suggestion, not a final decision. Start treating your no as a complete sentence. You don't owe your life story to justify your boundaries. If someone asks you for money and you don't want to lend it, you can say, "I'm not able to do that." If they push, just repeat, "It's not something I do." Calm, simple, no anger, no extra details. The first few times, you'll feel guilty. You'll feel the urge to soften it, to explain, to prove you're still nice. Sit with that. That guilt is the old training screaming. The more you practice short, calm refusals, the more your brain learns that you can survive people being slightly unhappy with you, and the more others know that your time and energy are not open territory. The sixth truth: you must see motives, not just words. People say a lot: promises, compliments, threats, excuses. If you take every word at face value, you will live in constant confusion. Someone says, "I didn't mean it like that," after humiliating you in front of others, and you accept it. Someone says, "I've just been busy," after ignoring you until they need something, and you swallow it. On the surface, it all sounds reasonable. Underneath, there's a pattern. Machiavelli wrote that men judge more by their eyes than by their hands, meaning most people only see appearances. But the strategist looks at outcomes, not what they said, but what their actions produced. Did their joke raise their status and lower yours? Did their busy schedule still leave time for others, just not you? Did their honesty always cut you down and never build you up? To become unbreakably calm, you need this kind of cold analysis. Not to become paranoid, but to stop being naive. Ask yourself simple questions. What does this person gain from making me feel this way? What do they gain from my reacting fast? What do they gain from keeping me uncertain? Humans repeat what works. If their behavior keeps benefiting them, it's not an accident. It's a strategy, even if they don't call it that. Next time someone flatters you hard, don't just melt under it. Notice when the flattery comes. Is it right before they ask for a favor? Is it right after you did something for them? Next time someone provokes you, ask, what do they win if I snap? Maybe you look unprofessional. Perhaps you become the problem. Possibly you start apologizing for reacting rather than for what they did. Your power move here is observation. Listen more. Watch more. Speak less. Instead of reacting to every phrase, zoom out and look at the pattern over time. If the pattern keeps draining you, stop giving them access, no matter what they say, about how it's not that serious. Your life is serious. Your energy is serious. Treat it that way. When you connect all these truths, you start to see a different version of yourself. A version that doesn't get yanked around by other people's emotions. A version that can walk into chaos and stay composed. A version that can sit in discomfort without begging for relief. That's where your mind becomes both calm and sharp. If you ignore these truths, the story is already written. You stay readable. People keep learning exactly how to manipulate you. They see what makes you jealous, what makes you insecure, what makes you overgive. They use guilt, urgency, affection, and silence to move you exactly where they want. You keep over-explaining, over-apologizing, overreacting. You get labeled as emotional, too intense, too available. You feel used, but you can't explain why, because you never learned to see the game. Without these truths, your calm will always be fake. You'll play the role of the chill person on the surface while your mind runs violently inside. You'll keep replaying conversations. You'll keep wishing you had said something different. You'll keep feeling like you lost some invisible battle you didn't know you were in. That's the life of someone trained to be useful, not powerful. But if you apply these truths, your life changes in a way that's hard to describe until you feel it. People start becoming careful with their words around you, not because you're scary, but because you don't bite at every bait anymore. You stop being the emotional trash can. You stop being the backup plan. You stop being the easy yes. Your calm starts to feel different. It's not a mask, it's a decision. You feel your anger, but you don't rush to express it. You think you're anxious, but you don't chase reassurance. You feel you're hurt, but you don't immediately try to patch it with attention. You learn that you can sit with those feelings, and that they eventually lose their power. Underneath them, you find clarity. Your mind becomes sharper because it's no longer flooded. You can see patterns faster. You notice the person who always shows up only when they need something. You know the coworker who subtly undermines you in front of the boss. You see the partner who keeps you on an emotional leash with mixed signals. And instead of confronting them emotionally, you respond strategically. Less access, stronger boundaries, fewer explanations. This is not about becoming cruel. It's about becoming hard to manipulate. It's not about playing games. It's about understanding that the game has always been there, and you were the only one pretending it didn't exist. Even Stoic thinkers like Seneca talked about controlling what's inside you when you can't control the outside. Machiavelli added the harsh truth. Other people will use what's inside you if you let them. Machiavelli wasn't writing a guide for villains. He was describing how people really behave when power, survival, and desire are on the line. That's the reality you live in. Not just in some old Italian court, but in your office, in your group chats, in your relationships. When you accept that, your calm stops being naive. It becomes earned. Imagine walking into an argument and knowing you won't lose your cool. Imagine getting a disrespectful message and feeling absolutely no rush to answer. Imagine someone trying to guilt trip you, and instead of folding, you feel a quiet, solid no inside you, and you stick with it. That is what unbreakable composure feels like. Not loud, not flashy, just solid. So what have you learned? You saw that calm is a weapon, not a mood. You saw that being unreadable protects you in a world that feeds on information. You saw that you must control your time and availability if you want respect. You saw that emotional distance is clarity, not coldness. You saw that saying no without explanation is necessary if you want to live with a spine. You saw that looking at motives instead of words keeps you from being fooled. You don't need to become a different person overnight. You don't need to turn into some emotionless statue. You just need to start practicing one truth at a time. This is your challenge. Pick the one truth that hit you the hardest and test it in real life before you sleep tonight, not tomorrow. Today. Maybe it's delaying your responses instead of reacting instantly. Perhaps it's saying no once without explaining yourself to death. Maybe it's keeping one piece of your emotional life off social media. Possibly it's not chasing someone who has gone cold. Whatever it is, apply it once. Feel how uncomfortable it is and do it anyway. That's how your mind starts to rewire. Pay attention to what happens. You'll notice that some people push harder at first. They're testing to see if the old you is still there. If you hold your line, those tests drop. The people who only liked you when you were soft and controllable will fade. The ones who respect strength will stay or show up later. Either way, your world becomes cleaner, colder, and more honest. And in that environment, your calm can actually grow. If this opened your eyes, you already know what to do. Share this with the one person you know who is always used, always overgiving, always on edge. Subscribe to make your feed less distracting and more strategic. And in the comments, say which truth hit you the hardest and how you're going to apply it. If this hit you, write, "I am the strategist," once in the comments, just to mark the day your mindset changed.